I saw Strays. Yep. I saw Strays. I did it myself. And from what you can tell, I'll say it right now, I hated this movie. Sheesh, I hated this movie. And like always, I am to blame. I am to blame because, you know why I went to watch this movie? Because I needed to make a list of worst movies of the year. I always try to make to fulfill a quota of how many movies I do watch and how many do I have to fill to make a best and worst of the year. And apparently my worst of the year is running low, and I needed at least one that I can guarantee that it could be in some of the worst movies of the year. Mind you that I do have some that are on the list, but not enough. I still needed more. So right on the get-go, when I saw the trailer of Strays, it was so raunchy and but at the same time so awful that I had to go see it, at least to fulfill a quota. And mind you, this is coming from me that I am not a fan of dog movies. I don't know what's with me and dog movies, maybe because I'm a cat person or something like that. But most of the time, these kind of movies, they kind of fall into the not funny and really gross out humor that there is. The last time that I seen a dog movie in recent years, it was Show Dogs, and it was a shit show that I still can't rub it out of my eyes. That was a god awful movie. So I thought for myself, this is no different for Strays. Doesn't matter how many star power you're gonna put in there. I was thinking that this is gonna suck. But still, I needed some kind of contender for my worst movie of the year. And guess what? It did happen. Congratulations, Strays. You became my contender of probably the worst movie of the year. And let's hope that it stays that way. Let's hope that, and at least for your sake, let's hope I don't find something worse. That movie was so bad that I was literally sick when I went to the movie theaters. No kidding. I was. Today it was kind of a little bit of a stressful day, and you know that when you feel stressful, you feel kind of like butterflies in your stomach. Even when you kind of eat something, you feel like you feel nauseous. That's how I felt during the whole movie. The funny thing is that during this week, I was revisiting this old Cartoon Network show. Maybe if you are familiar with home movies. And I saw the episode in which the protagonist had kind of got a similar case that I had, in which due to stress, he got sick in the stomach. Now I'm beginning to feel how that character felt into that episode. And unfortunately, the movie didn't help. The movie didn't help with its disgusting imagery that it has. And you know what? When the movie was over, I was thinking on my way back how I was gonna make my vlog about this movie. First of all, if I kind of spat out an F bomb or an F bomb, well, I gave you my warning. I'm not a guy who curses a lot, but sometimes occasionally I do it. So I don't care if YouTube can do something about it. Well, because the movie kind of earns it. Well, not only it earns it, it kind of begs for it because my God, it's kind of like the crutch that this movie has. And second of all, this is not gonna be a conventional vlog because this is one of those in which I'm gonna spoil the hell out of this movie because I don't think that this movie deserves to be watched and get your money. But before I go to it, let me put you a little bit in perspective. Why I despise Strays? It's not because it's a dog movie. It's because I might be a cat person, but I do like animals. Except snakes. I don't like snakes. But this is one of those raunchy comedies, or thinks that is a comedy, that it's very dependent on just being raunchy for the sake of being raunchy. It thinks that every second you spout out an obscenity, that means that it is funny, and thinks that just because you cause an obscenity that is funny. No, you can't just expect that and just call it funny. That's a lazy writing, and considering that it's from Hollywood, I don't think that I don't. It's not as you'll say that it's not your taste or something like that. Hold the phone. I can watch raunchy comedies fine, but I can see when raunchy comedies they are more clever in their usage of their profanities and their disgusting imagery. I watch South Park, and you know what? There are episodes of South Park that I like, and there are, of course, episodes that I don't like. And you know what? Most of the episodes that I don't like about South Park is sometimes when their obscenity and their disgusting imagery, or sometimes when they're on their mean-spiritedness, they go too far. And that's the same with American Dad or Family Guy or The Simpsons or SNL sketches. Whatever I go, I'm open-minded when it's about to raunchiness. But raunchiness, it has to be balanced with some wit and cleverness to make it look like you are a professional, that you don't use obscenities and disgusting imagery just for the sake of just doing it. Sometimes even as an art house, you can kind of forgive it, but Strays doesn't do that. Not as an art house. They just do it because, well, the actor just say, hey, let's make a movie and let's just be just raunchy for the sake of being raunchy. And it has no substance. It has no substance. And it's sad because I can see there is a certain potential in the kind of story that it has. Although the story also felt a little bit mean-spirited. Although I get what they were doing. And that's kind of like the saddest thing. I get it. But their execution sucks. to give you an idea, this movie had a load of not only F-bombs and F-bombs that they just spouted every single time like it has Tourette syndrome. You're gonna also have a lot of piss, a lot of dog shit, literal dog shit. That you see it. There's a lot of vomiting. There's drugs. Everything that you put on the table to make it an adult comedy, and just think that it is an adult comedy, but man, that kind of makes me feel bad, because it kind of makes me feel like one of those angry mothers. And you know what? That makes me come back again when this week I was revisiting home movies. I saw also this really funny episode in which our main protagonist make a raunchy comedy with f-bombs and sexual tones, in which everyone kind of find it funny, but unfortunately the parents didn't find it funny to the point that they just wanted a clean up version. I'm not exactly asking for kind of like a clean up version. It's no, but still, it kind of makes me ponder all these things after watching Strays. And you know what? I haven't even talked about the movie. And you know what? I think I already told you my thoughts. I already told you my thoughts in summarize why I despise this movie. Also, it's very ugly. This movie's pretty ugly. So, you know what? Let's make this a vlog where I give you a journey about the whole movie, because this movie is gonna be spoilers. There's gonna be spoilers, and I'm gonna dismantle this movie pieces by pieces. But let's say that it starts out with the main synopsis. It's about this dog called Reggie. He's voiced by Will Forte. Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell. There's another Will. There's a Will Forte. Yes. Okay, let's back down. There's this dog. It's voiced by Will Ferrell. Is this dog that he doesn't get the hint that his owner, which is this guy named Doug, played by Will Forte, the guy despises the dog. He kind of hates it, and he verbally abuses the dog. But the dog he's like, hey, he's the best owner in the world. He called me these names. He called me trash pitter, ass, or something like that. And we get kind of like this retrospective with this sappy music, a very inappropriate music that is kind of like happy-go-lucky, in which the dog kind of claims that he has the best owner in the world, in which he feels enamored with this guy named Doug. But unfortunately, Doug is this asshole, in which he never had a liking to the dog. He had a girlfriend in which he cheats on her, but the dog basically exposes his cheatery to the girlfriend, who actually liked the dog. And just out of spite, the guy is like, I'm taking the dog because he loves him, but unfortunately, no, he doesn't. He's just a sack of asshole who lives depending on the pension of the mother. He's a drug abuser. He always likes to smoke pot with his bong. He always insults the dog. He always masturbates, and he basically claims the dog as the main source of his problems. But still, the dog is like, he's the most wonderful person in the world. So so that is until Reggie accidentally breaks one of the bongs of Doug, and so he had enough, and so he decides to get rid of him by instead of just killing him, which a psychopath will do instantly, and this guy is a total psychopath. Sorry about that. He just decided to the old routine, throwing the ball far away so he doesn't come back. But Reggie it's like, hey, we invented this new game called and excuse the word, fetch and fuck. I call it like that because I fetch the ball, and every time when I come back, the guy's like, fuck. So finally, he decides to go all along to up to the big city, and this is where it becomes kind of like the challenge. And Reggie is now kind of becomes automatically a stray, and there he meets this dog named Bug, played by Jamie Foxx, and then he meets other dogs. Maggie, this dog named Maggie, played by Isla Fisher, and a dog with a cone called Hunter, played by Randall Park. And these guys, like, this guy abandoned you. But the guy is like, what are you talking about? He's a great dog. I think he loved me. No, he abandoned you, dude. And finally, they try to make him reason that this guy wasn't exactly the best owner in the world. So Randall, he decides, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back. What? Are you crazy? No, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna bite his dick. And that's the crux. And that's the crux of the whole movie, and basically the whole anticipation that this movie has. The movie's biggest anticipation that it leaves to the audience is that the dog wants to bite his dick. Actually, this guy is gonna deserve more than just biting the dick. But anyway, it becomes kind of like this crisscross dog on a journey adventure in which they go from one place to another to bite their the journey to have Randall bite Doug's dick. So, but still, where do I start? Imagine that the movie kind of starts by saying that, the stray life is not exactly a bad life, and kind of imagining that, being a stray is not so bad. It's kind of like good. You can pee everywhere or something like that, and you can get fruit from everywhere. You can drink from garbage. Yeah, right. It's almost like encouraging the life of a homeless. But I know it's raunchy. I kind of get the joke. Oh, and let me go back also to the joke about the Hunter, the dog with a cone that he doesn't want to remove. They always make this running gag, and they show this running gag and a lot, in which he has a big penis. And they show it. They show it in the most opportune moments, because raunchy comedy. Because raunchy comedy needs penis and boobs. Well, in this case, they don't have boobs. They have dog penises. Yep, it's almost like a South Park joke in which they go into that route. They also continuing on with the movie. They go into this journey, and basically their only lead to get to that house is by Randall just saying that, Reggie just saying that he sees some key places. Like for example, there is this spinning cups. Then there is I kind of forgot where it is. And then there's kind of like the devil in the sky or something like that. First they go to kind of like this this tea spot place, and of course that is it is an amusement park, a carnival, in which, let's say that scene probably gave me a dark humor that is probably the only funniest line that I have, in which the dogs find this they find this other dog who kind of became kind of like a narrator, and everyone is like, the dog is watching kind of like his owner hitting on a woman, and the dog is like, oh no, he's kind of like a narrator or something like that. Oh well, and the narrator dog kind of like doesn't care. It's like, well, the guys are missing the point that my owner is a serial killer that killed off three people and buried them in his backyard. That was so dark that I kind of gave it a kind of like a chuckle out of it. But that's the least of that's the only chuckle that I gave with this movie. So basically, yeah, then after so much talk in which the hunter dog kind of expresses his love to the Maggie dog, and then the dogs get scared when they open the fireworks, because, yeah, fireworks and animals, they don't combine. And so after getting away from the fireworks, they kind of just say that, you know what, we're friends. You know what we do? The puck kind of showed me that if you own something, you gotta pee on it. So, you know what? You're not gonna believe it. Let's pee. Let's pee between each other. Everyone? So they get in a circle and they pee on each other. They pee on each other, and you watch it. They pee on each other and they call themselves PFF. Like, P friends, like P friends forever. That's a nice, you know what a nice imagery. What a nice imagery to see dogs peeing. Can I ask you guys, is it good to see dogs peeing? Is it nice, especially nice watching them peeing each other? I seen anime where they're very graphic on showing dogs peeing. But at least those last for seconds. But this one, it has constant peeing. I know, it's a dog movie, so why should I expect it? So they go kind of like in this homeward bound journey, in which they eventually they reach kind of like the wild, and then the puck dog gets captured by an eagle, and kind of have this chase scene in which, out of nowhere, also we get a cameo of Dennis Quaid, seeing the imagery of the eagle getting the dog, and he's like, huh. And of course, the dogs are safe. The dogs are safe. And another thing that I find it kind of like funny about this movie is that there are times in which they made an funny moment in which they wanted to subtitle the eagle's dogs. They did it twice, and all these moments, it's just for the eagle to say an F-bomb. It's almost like the eagle just say F-bombs. Oh yeah, and this is also the dialogue. The dialogue is all F-bombs and MF-bombs. Just or if it's about MF bombs, it's also about toilet humor or urine humor, whatever it is. Oh yeah, and also trying to hammer us in our head that they're on this journey to bite the guy's dick. So, continuing on, they stumble into, because they're hungry, they stumble into mushrooms. And you know what? Mushrooms in the wild, they're not exact. I don't think that they are exactly hallucinogenic. I'm struggling with the word hallucinogenics or something like that. What makes you hallucinate? Most of them are poisonous and they can kill. As even a dog can be deadly. But they wanted to play out, and you know that this is the moment even that they shown in the trailer in which they feel that they're so proud, in which they eat the shrooms and then they have this psychedelic moment in which everything grows big. They begin to move erratic ways, and then you get kind of like those video editing moments in which they feel that they're so proud of. There's even a moment in which you see in the trailer that it turns into a 2D animated cartoon, or it turns into sock puppets. They're so proud of that they linger on that. Oh, and also it's time for me to mention that the whole movie with the dogs talking is with them, with the usual, their snouts moving with CGI, which honestly is an old thing that the thing is kind of getting old, and it doesn't hold on for a long movie. But okay, after that psychedelic moment in which they begin to hallucinate all these things that they are so proud of, they woke up and they find out that they've been killing rabbits in their drug inducing moment. And you see a little bit of bits and pieces of the carnage. It's not exactly kind of like giantly graphic. You just have to look closely to see at least the ribs and all that. And they also kind of use kind of like a poorly stuffed animals in order for these fur effects. But the dogs are kind of horrified that they just woke up. They just woke up from making a massacre out of killing rabbits. Okay, that is dark. But I will give it a little bit of another credit to that movie. So they bury the rabbits and they say they don't want to talk about. And then suddenly they're approached by some police dogs that them and their humans. They're searching for a missing Girl Scout. And they think that they're gonna get help, but unfortunately, because our four protagonists are strays, they are taken in by animal control, in which of course the bug dog, the Jamie Foxx dog, he panics because, well, he is the only legit stray, and while the other ones have technically owners. And this is where he just spouts out his hatred to humanity. This is the thing that I also feel that this movie has, is that for some instances it kind of has the kind of like this hatred to humanity, and it kind of showcases humanity as dumb. Although I'm kind of used to that, and I can brush that. I mean, I mean, I saw this show called The Secret Files of the Spy Dogs, where humans are kind of like the dumbest creature in the world. But at least they kind of use it to the point of parody. But this one, it kind of goes a little bit, well, mean spirited. Continuing back into the movie, the bug basically tells his backstory that he was owned by this girl, kind of like called, what was it, Emma? I don't remember much, but it was kind of like in this case, in which they were very happy until she accidentally steps on his foot and he bites her, and because of that, he's given to they decided to put him down because of the bite. Kind of curious that during that flashback for a movie that claims to be raunchy, we didn't the moment in which she gets the bite, we didn't see any bite mark. Maybe because they didn't want it to be it was not cheap to make a bite special effect. So basically, he claims his backstory that this is why I prefer to be a stray and I don't want to be with humans and all that. So they take his kind of like his pity and get this. They decide that they want to get away from the animal control center. You know, they're in their cages and all that. So they get kind of like the bright idea that they wanted to get the keys that is hanging on the wall and all that. So what was their big plan to get the keys? They tried to make the hunter dog get an erection. So his erection is long enough to have his penis grab the key. I'm not joking. They try to milk the joke that the hunter dog has a big penis, and you see his red rocket completely. Of course, you know that no matter how big the dog is, and no matter how big his penis is, it's not a cartoon that is gonna stretch out like it is an over-the-top anime hentai. It doesn't do that. At least thank goodness that it doesn't do that. But still, for you raunchy people, you're gonna get the pleasure to see a big dog's erected penis. So they use Plan B, which it kind of also begins to allude that people like to collect their feces because you know that when you have a dog, you also have to have the responsibility to pick up their feces because well it's not hygienic or something like that. So the dog is like, you know what, everybody, even the ones that I don't know, we're gonna take a shit so that it will make the animal control guy clean up clean up the cage, and then we get this montage of the dogs trying to having this shit, and you're gonna see the shit. You're gonna see. You love shit. You're gonna see shit. Dog shit. Dog shit. Even the music that they pick is the oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Yeah. This leads me to, of course, my disdain to their musical scores. A lot of the musical scores sucks. Sometimes they kind of pick up this kind of like rappy, hip-hopish, raunchy rap songs that it's, they wanted to, we're trying to be hip, and we're trying to be hip because we say the F-bomb. We don't care how raunchy we are. But yeah, you're gonna see shit. So they trick the guy, and the guy gets smeared with shit. Dog shit. Do you like shit? There you go. Dog shit. Ah! The dogs escape and they find the third landmark. Their third landmark, which is actually a billboard of a postman, because they say that the postman is basically the devil. Ha ha ha! Dogs hate the postman. And of course they find out that Reggie, he still doesn't take the hit. He feels like he's the one that being the bad dog, and this is why the dog guy doesn't love him. And while everyone trying to put him into his senses, like saying, "Dude, he doesn't like you. He abandoned you." But he's like, "No, but I think it's because I'm being the bad dog." It's somewhat like a toxic relationship, I'll say. And you know what? You know what movie made a better depiction of a toxic relationship? Renfield. This year we had Renfield, and that one had a better depiction of toxic relationship than this one. Because in this one, okay, this kind of always kind of like bugged me, because we go into this journey about this dog that he doesn't technically get the hit, and I know that animals are not exactly clever in the state of being human, or that they get the point. They're an animal of habits, but a dog, but any animal can. They can. They can detect when they are being mistreated. But this dog's loyalty is in the wrong place, and I get what they were doing with that. So basically, yeah, they have kind of like this fallout, and Reggie decides to go alone, and while the other dogs is like, you know what, let's go. Well, the Jamie Foxx guy is like, he's very, no, I hate humans and all that stuff. I don't know why I bother with this guy. The other ones are having second opinions. So the dog goes alone, and then out of miracle they find the missing scout girl that was missing. So the dogs basically alert the police. The police finally found them, and so they finally think that, well, not there are good humans, but there are also bad humans. So they decided to rescue Reggie from going from a bad human, and they tried to. There's also this kind of like this big gag with the Maggie character, in which she has a good sense of smell. I'll leave it by that. I don't want to go too much into detail, but overall, Reggie gets back home. He really finds out that the guy he's pretty much an asshole, a real piece of work. He's a guy who doesn't take any responsibility on his life, and he's just in his drugs and all. And to give it credit, Will Forte really comes up as a good villain, because of it's also a little bit kind of like in the crux, because honestly, nobody likes a guy who mistreats their animal, at least in the normal sense. Anyone who mistreats animals, it's always kind of like it's always a signal about a psychopath, or someone really, really unlikable. And so basically, yeah, he finds Will Forte, and while the guy is like, "Fuck," or something like that, he's there. At least Reggie is like, you know what? I'm here to tell you that I finally found people that love dogs that love me. So good day, sir. And even before he was trying to leave, the guy is like, you know what? You're not going anywhere. He grabs grabs the bat and tries to kill him, which of course, for a psychopath like him, it was the first thing that she should have done to kill off the dog. And look, I'm not endorsing it, but I'm talking about kind of like a logic. But of course, there wouldn't be a movie. So this guy kind of becomes a psychopath and wants to kill a dog, and he blinks in about everything. And of course, comes the other dog comes to the rescue, and even the hunter dogs take out his cone. And well, we get kind of like the chase scene. There's some a mild fire that is happening, and after a fight scene in which the guy also becomes very very unlikable, the dog is like, you know what? Let's do it. They open his legs and they give Reggie the opportunity to finally bite off his dick. And of course, Hunter shits on his face. So the house is on fire. Well, mildly on fire, not a big fire, mildly on fire. The dogs come out victorious, because finally they bite the dick out of this guy. And then, of course, we got the epilogue in which life got better. Like, for example, Hunter doesn't have his cone, and now he can have sex with Maggie and almost anything. Oh yeah, I also kind of forgot to mention the lot of hump jokes that this movie has, especially with the Buck character being obsessed and in love with a couch. So because the hunter was kind of like an ex-cop and all that, he's finally also on the force. Maggie, because of her smell, she also become part of the police force because of her good smell. The Buck character is adopted by the missing Girl Scout, and she treats him well and all that. And Reggie, he decides to stay astray and begins to guide other strays from taking the stray life. And of course, he visits his friends and all that. And the movie ends with them demonizing a postman. And of course, we got a mid-credit scene with the Will Forte guy, the duck evil guy in the hospital. And with the doctor, is like, dude, you have some burns. You have some burns. Your testicles are ripped apart, and also you got some fecal material in your stomach. Yeah, that dog kind of pissed shit on my mouth. And then the guy is like, well, here's the bad news. Your penis has been ripped off. No, it was like F-bomb. And you know what? That disappoints me. Because a guy like that, he deserves worse. You didn't give me the satisfaction of giving this scum of society a worse fate. I'm not asking death, just in case. I wasn't asking for death. Although death could have been kind of like another solution if you wanted to go kind of like darker places. But at least put him in jail. This guy, he deserves to be in jail. But no, you missed it. You had the police, and you missed the chance. You missed the chance to having, people going there and find out this guy about to kill dogs. And the movie could have kind of make it kind of like an illusion saying that it's illegal to do that. You're going to jail for that. But no, the guy just got his dick ripped off. And the end. I hated this movie. It's just raunchy for the sake of being raunchy. And it was so unfunny that... Is that all you got for a comedy? And do you like it? Do you like the dog poop? Do you like the dog shit? Oh yeah, there's also vomit. And eating vomit. Do you like to see that? I know it's a dog's life, but do you like to see that? Easily, by far, the worst movie I have seen this year. Kind of makes me, at least I can now see why I'm not exactly a fan of dog movies. Not even the clean dog movies. Not even the clean dog movies. Kind of like A Dog's Purpose or something like that. But sometimes it makes me feel that the raunchier the dog movies are, it kind of feels like they have to be the most nastiest of them all. They try to be really nasty and really raunchy to the point that it kind of makes me question if this is what we like to watch. I mean, I never own a dog, so I don't know what kind of life these kind of people have. But I did own cats, and I know some of the things that are there, but it's called having a responsibility, to clean up your stuff and all that. And I get it. I get what they were trying to say. They were trying to make a story about the dog who had a horrible owner, but he doesn't get the hint, and he's on a journey to find out that well, he's not exactly the owner that I expected. But the execution was so wrong that I just came out disliking it. And so much that it made me feel, and it was worse again that I was passing through a problem with my stomach that it made me even sick, and to watch that. Ugh. So take it from me. I don't recommend this movie. This is easily the worst movie I have seen this year. You know what? After seeing this, I need a vacation.